Also, Yadong's best trait is just poking your eyeballs out of your head.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That dude is.
Welcome into Tapping Vegas, brought to you by Better and Green. Today we're breaking down UFC 324. That is between Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett. Welcome in, everybody. Exciting year for the UFC. They're no longer receiving mail at their old address, Bobby. They have moved to Paramount Plus. Gone are the days of PPV. So congratulations. This is a numbered event that we just get to sit back, kick our heels up, Bobby, and watch the fights pass us by. So if you guys haven't got that yet, make sure you guys do check out Paramount Plus so you guys can watch the fights. A little bit more housekeeping. We have a brand new website since the last time we saw you guys. A lot has changed, man. UFC being gone for a month. We did a lot of work in that month. So brand new website, swiping prediction game, whole new storefront, whole new everything. If you guys haven't checked it out, it is also in app form. You guys can go to bettergreen.com. Download it from your web browser, and just a little bit, it pays off to join our games, to join the website, doesn't it, Bobby? Because we have
Almost definitely.
Parker has been part of our Tapology group, and he absolutely killed it last year, Bobby. And I'm talking he won the last card, and he is the all-time percentage leader, 61.3% correct bets. And he's right up there in the all-time highest scores. Right now, Patrick holds that record, but Parker's right up there. So we got a little something for Parker, man, to commemorate 2025 and the successful year it was. Bobby, we got him a little something. Got him a signed Johnny Walker UFC fight glove.
Honey Walker?
Honey Walker, dude. The man, the meme himself.
It's wacky flailing inflatable tube man.
Yes. Yes. So we got a signed Johnny Walker UFC fight glove for you. Parker, I'm gonna reach out to you and we're gonna get that mailed out to you, buddy. Just as a thank you. Just as a thank you for participating and being with us every week. If you guys would also like to win some free merch, we do giveaways throughout the year. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys join the website. Once again, it's free. If you'd like to become a premium member, you just get a whole lot of extra content. You get my premium graphs that track for DFS. If you guys are DFS players for UFC, it's just we've got a lot of good stuff going on right now. No better time to join. Bobby, before we get into the fights, how are you doing, man? You feeling good for the new year?
Feeling good. Just be careful, Parker, when you put those Johnny Walker gloves on. It gives you plus 10 charisma, but minus 20 chin. So be very, very careful around strong gust of wind while wearing that.
that is true, Bobby. You're right about that, man. As always, we break down 5 fights for you guys that we think people want to hear about. That, or we think that people can win some money off of it, maybe a line drawing. Bobby, the first one we're talking about, it is not the second reason, but we're talking about it because these are some pretty big name guys. We're talking Umar Nurmagomedov versus Deiveson Figueiredo on the prelims. Demoted for Mr. Nurmagomedov. Moneyline minus 1450. That's what it made me say. 1450. Right now, 42% of the bets are on Umar, 86% of the money. And I'm like, 86% of the money at minus 1450. Vegas is like, so? Vegas doesn't care. Vegas doesn't care with that. 58% of the bets, 14% of the money on Figgy. For me, in this fight, Bobby, it's gonna be Umar. And we were talking about it before the show. You can't take him at minus 1450. I mean, unless you're very your bank account is astronomical. You're not able to put enough on this to make it pay off for you. Umar right now winning methods, submission plus 175, decision minus 135. So those are kind of the ways you can go. You can look at KO, or if you're going to look at the Figgy side, you can take any method you want, or just Figgy outright. Probably Figgy outright's the way to go there. I'm going to do the submission because, man, it's hard because he's just a decisionator. But being put on the prelims, I feel like maybe my little fire under his butt, and he's been very underwhelming. So maybe this is a chance to kind of get back in the good graces of the UFC because his stock's fallen quite a bit. So give me the submission at the plus money, but if this goes to decision, I'm not shocked in the slightest. What do you think?
Actually, I think no, there's not much to say about this fight. Um, Umar is, minus 1450 for a reason. All the things you said running through my head, running through my head. Shout out tattoo. Real ones now. Anyway, yeah, it's a good get right fight for him. Fee has been great since moving up to bantamweight. Had a lot more success than a lot of people, initially thought he would have. Has been on a pretty good run. Kind of only lost to the elite of the elite in the division, Peter Yan, now champion Peter Yan again. Corey Sandhagen with that weird little, knee injury. So yeah, I mean, he's beaten Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt, Cheeto Vera, just beat Montel Jackson. All those are great things, but he's 38 years old in a division where your reflexes and your agility and your speed definitely are important and the first things to go. We've talked about that on the show a lot. And he's just going up against a more well-rounded guy. I mean, I get that Marab loss definitely kind of put a stain on Umar's legacy in some people's eyes. But I mean, he rebounded with a pretty dominant win over a very strong Mario Batista,
Yep.
surging forward in the rankings and everything himself. So clearly that was just a one-off. And something that he can recover from, definitely a lot at 30 years old, something to still be able to, go out there and learn from it and get better. And, definitely has a shot at beating Marab in a rematch for sure. So, yeah, I mean, this is a classic story about we already know who Figgy is, right? At this point, it's not Christmas anymore. There's not going to be any Figgy pudding. It's not going to get brought to you. He's a hard-hitting guy with some power in his hands. He had some creative escapes and get-ups whenever, grapplers would initiate with him, but it's kind of all been figured out. It's all been seen. It's all been done before. None of it's really anything crazy. He does very simple things well and does the basics in a very great way, which is, gotten him this far and a lot of success. But against somebody like Umar, it's just not going to be enough. I know that we had that little scare early in Umar's UFC run against Begzat Almakhan.
Yep.
And that definitely could happen with Figgy. That's his best chance. He's definitely got power in his hands for sure. But I think Umar is just going to be too good at controlling the distance. He's definitely one of the strikers of the Nurmagomedov clan. And also able to, if Figgy does decide to grapple or wrestle, he's going to be fine. He's going to get right back up if he wants to, or reverse position. Yeah, there's not much else to say about this fight. It's going to be pretty handily Umar, unless, Figgy always is kept in every fight by his power. So he'd have to have a back sack, ball sack type of, luck to get that little shot that wobbles him. But I'm going Umar as well.
Okay. All right, man. Let's move on to the next fight then. We're talking Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. Silva right now the favorite, minus 258. Why don't you take this fight away?
Yeah, this one's very interesting to me because Arnold Allen's very good. And I know the fighting nerds have recently had some troubles, but they're also still good. I'll give them credit there, even though I'm not exactly a big John Silva guy. But yeah, I like Arnold Allen. Just beat Giga Chikadze, thank God.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a while. I did not know Arnold Allen had taken a year off. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing for him. He's only 32. It's not terribly old for that not lightweight, featherweight division, 145-pound division there. So nothing crazy about that. Another guy only lost to the elite of the division, right? Before he fought Max Holloway in 2023, only had one loss. That came pretty early on in his pro career when he was fighting in Cage Warriors. And then after that, lost to Movsar Evelev. No shame in that at all. So, I mean, that happened in January. He quickly rebounded, had that nice little unanimous decision over Giga. This is a guy that finished Dan Hooker. Always impressive to finish Dan Hooker. As much damage as that guy's taken.
Yeah.
Uh, Calvin Cater, good win. Sadiq Yusuf, good win. Gilbert Melendez, good win. Mads Burnell, Amir Khani before he became just absolute trash. So I like Arnold Allen. He's a funny dude. He's got a good social media presence. John Silva, on the other hand, is negative aura. The whole barking like a dog thing quickly got old. Let's just say that. But I mean, John Silva's another guy in that division who, lost to Diego Lopez round 2 last September. No shame there. But before that, beat Bryce Mitchell, Melsik Bagdasarian, Crimson Chin, Drew Dober, Charles Jourdain. So some good wins, all by finishes in the lead up to that. So now here's the important question for John Silva. With the loss that he, experienced at the hands of Diego Lopez not that long ago, September, spinning back elbow and punches and the losses that some of his Fighting Nerds teammates have experienced, this is always a pivotal moment in a fighter's career. Even though it's not his first loss, it's his first UFC loss. And how do you mentally react to that? It's going to be very important because Arnold Allen's already had his rebound after losing to Movzar, losing to Max Holloway. He's already had that moment. He's already got that win under his belt, confidence coming back. So I think it's good. I think it's good for him, and I think he has a real shot at this fight. John Silva, don't get me wrong. Yes, he's good, but I think this could be the continuation of a trend for him in which once he hits that upper crust of competition, now we're going to start to really see where John Silva stands in this division. And it's not going to be anything crazy in terms of him sinking down to top 20 or something. But I think realistically for him, with the state the division's currently in now, top 10 is perfectly fine and perfectly reasonable. But I don't know if he's going to crack that upper 5. And honestly, I'm not even sure if Arnold Allen is either. But I mean, from a strictly betting perspective, anytime you're giving me Arnold Allen at a plus 210 and John Silva's at minus 258, where they're both at in their careers right now, and Silva's coming off that finish loss that wasn't that long ago, and it was against Diego Lopez. I want to see where his head's at. I want to see if he's mentally still there, if this is going to be something that now he's in his head about. He loses confidence because Arnold Allen's well rested. He's had some time off to get better, to heal up injuries. He's still in the prime of his career, not too old for the division. John Silva, also not that old, 29, a little bit younger than Arnold Allen, but nothing crazy. And, he's going to be a little bit shorter. And I just want to see, because Arnold Allen is a pretty slick striker. He's very good at controlling the distance. He's very good at staying out of power shots, things of that nature. Obviously, that did not work as well against Max Holloway, but Max Holloway is probably one of the better strikers in the entire UFC right now. So, of course, it's not going to work out as well for him. But this is kind of something I thought about John Silva even before the loss. He definitely was starting to strike me as just a little one-dimensional in the striking. Nothing he really did kind of just stood out to me as anything insane. And I think that's why he got punished by a guy like Lopez, and he can get punished by a guy like Allen. Especially, like I said, when I'm plus 210 on money line alone, you got 81% of bets on John Silva. Gene Silva, you got 19% on Arnold Allen. I've got to go Arnold Allen money line for no other reason other than principle, if nothing else, even though I just gave you a few other reasons. So what do you think?
I literally have nothing to add because I couldn't agree with you anymore. You literally hit every single talking point that I had also. It's just the only thing I'll add here is the Vegas side. 17% of bets on Arnold Allen, 19% of the money. So you see a slight sharp edge there, but also just a huge public hammering of Gene Silva. It makes me like Arnold Allen even more. And like you said, it's just, we're not dogging on either of these guys. We're not dogging on Silva for this, but you're getting Arnold Allen at plus 210. and you don't usually get guys like that at those numbers. So
Exactly.
I just couldn't agree with you anymore. I think you nailed it.
This does not feel like a mismatch to justify those odds. And
No.
hey, maybe come next tap in Vegas, I'll look real dumb. But guess what? I'll admit it if I do. And if I'm right, oh, you're damn sure going to know that I've been right, baby.
You're right. You got him, Bobby. Let's talk about this next one, man. Let's get to some big boys. You might know him because sometimes his balls get hot. That's Derek Lewis, and he's facing Waldo Cortes-Acosta. WCA, man, hot finish to the year last year. Really kind of a guy that we've been talking about for a couple of years now. It was always kind of like a point fighter, decisionator, not that good. And then all of a sudden, he's like knocking dudes out, looking very impressive. This one's hard, but he doesn't have nearly the same power that Derek Lewis does. Cortes-Acosta minus 340 favorite feels crazy. But then you're also looking at 39% of the bets on Cortes-Acosta. So a heavy 61% of the public on Derek Lewis here. And then 52% of the money is on Cortes-Acosta. So you're getting a pretty good sharp money coming in on Cortes-Acosta, and I doubt Vegas wants to pay out 48% of the money at plus 270, almost 3-1. It just doesn't seem like a line that Vegas would want to put out there. It seems like they're very vulnerable on that edge or that side for this fight. It's hard to imagine Derek Lewis going this going to a decision. It always is with heavyweight fights. Total rounds over under 1.5. They're expecting a finish. Let's see the methods here. Cortes-Acosta KO minus 115, decision plus 250. I understand wanting to take the Derek Lewis plus 380 because it only takes one punch. And it seems like it's got to come down for a bit, right? It's got to come down a bit. The Cortes-Acosta hype, it's reaching a fever pitch right now. And we don't think he was that good to begin with. You know, some of the fights that he won, stepping in on short notice. I don't want to discount. That's the thing. I don't want to discount anything that he's done because he won the fights and he's knocking dudes out. But you just gotta figure it probably ends at some point. I'm gonna say he gets one more in. I'm gonna say he beats Derek Lewis, the minus 115 KO. I'll put it there, but I don't have very strong confidence in this one. I did it last year with Sergey Pavlovich, just thinking, all right, he just needs one hit, and it just kept it. It didn't do me well, and Derek Lewis is past the point of his career where I really want to be betting on him for a single punch when the public is so heavy on him. So that's my opinion. What do you think, Bobby?
Actually, in his fight against Shamil Gaziev, his most recent, Waldo Cortes-Acosta and that whole eye poke debacle really changed the trajectory of the fight. And he got quite fortunate because his little fat ass was getting some bacon turned off that back. Yeah, I mean, Derek Lewis has been one of my favorite fighters for a while. Once again, you never know when the wheels are going to fall off with this guy. It's been the story of his entire career. But boy, your first love, you just never really get over it when it comes to all the money that this man's made off the betting. And yeah, when it doesn't hit, it sucks, you know. But I've been right about him beating Nasumoto, about him beating Teixeira, about him beating Marcos Rogerio de Lima, about him beating Dawkins. I did think he was going to beat Tuivasa. He didn't, so I was wrong. I thought he would beat Spivak. I was wrong. And then I knew he'd beat Blades. Didn't think he'd beat Gon. So, yeah, when it's nice, it's nice. When it's not, it's not. But, I mean, this man is the UFC record holder for most knockouts across all divisions and across all time for a reason. And I'd love to see him break his own record just one last time, especially up against the most. For somebody that calls themselves Salsa Boy, they need to call themselves fucking Mayo Boy because goddamn, this dude is fucking boring and I can't stand it anymore. And I'm tired of pretending otherwise. I got something to say. I'm tired of it. Uh, Dude sucks. I know Derek Lewis is 40 years of age, actual
Right.
fucking age.
Right.
I get that. But I mean, for heavyweight, that's a spring chicken. 34 for Waldo Cortes-Acosta. So yeah, it's starting to be important. But it's heavyweight. So I mean, you're just not really getting my pecker with extra blood flow to it when you're barely beating Anti Delija and Shamil Gaziev is like giving you a little bit of hell before some eye poke just changes things, and then suddenly you're taking advantage of it, like Drew Dober with the nut shot against the Canadian fellow, Mike, whatever the hell his name was, or whatever. But I'm going Derek Lewis just because, once again, I love it when it works, and when it doesn't, it's okay because it feels like a free bet. It just feels like free money. It's no sweat. It just feels right. You know what I'm saying? And when it feels
I
right, you
get you.
sink into their arms. You don't run away. So if I can get Derek Lewis at a plus 270 on money line alone, I have to do it at least for one time's sake. As I coat up the bet slip with barbecue sauce and whisper to myself one last trip to Flavor Town.
All right, man. Let's go to like the other side of the weight classes now with Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. O'Malley minus 205 favorite. This one has my head in a pretzel, but I think I know what side I want, but I'm very interested to hear what you think.
Well, I think that Song Yadong is a goofy little guy with a funny name. And I like goofy little guys with funny names. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, this was one that I kind of like was tossing and turning about myself. And really, the only thing that kind of gave me a little bit of pause, other than the name Dong, obviously, find
Hey
that a
yo.
little amusing. I know, right? But for realsies, um, Dong sometimes likes to wrestle. Dong does, and he's decent at it. Nothing crazy, just enough to keep you on your toes if you're predominantly a striker like O'Malley we know is. But when I was watching tape and everything, nothing he did really stood out to me. Once again, he's very much just the generic UFC fighter that's kind of come about in these last few years. If you're not like a Nurmagomedov, Dagestani wrestler type, or like a slick striker, like an O'Malley, like a Jack Della Maddalena. If you're not like one of those, an Israel Adesanya striker or like a Dagestani, Middle Eastern, Russian wrestler, it seems like the third kind of default UFC fighter class now is just kind of generic, good all around, jack of all trades, master of none fighters that you think to yourself, man, this guy or girl could maybe be top 15 in a division for a little while, but you never see anything from them just special enough or crazy enough to ever in your plums just feel confident making a statement like that really average technique is gonna get them the belt. And that's just what Yudong feels like. He just feels like everything about him's good, but nothing about him just really gets you just pounding that table. And the only thing I could think of was he did have a pretty slick counter to Corey Sandhagen and their fight, where the first time Corey struck him, he didn't really try to like dodge and weave. But the second time when Sandhagen stepped into him to jab, I believe it was, and Yadong ducked and then tried to do like a shuck and get to Sandhagen's back and like try to start working a kind of takedown or at least engage in the clinch from there to avoid, keeping getting hit in the head and just, getting pounded in the old bussy. That was kind of slick to see, but once again, that was something Sandhagen was able to just, disengage from the clinch if he didn't want to be there, get his distance back, and resume striking and taking advantage of his height and reach advantage. Guess who else is going to have a height and reach advantage? Sean O'Malley, one of the tallest people in the division, him and Corey Sandhagen. So even if Yadong was able to do something like, do a smooth little duck under and try to take the back, get a clinch, tie up O'Malley, that sort of thing, I don't think it's going to be anything that's enough to just grind them out on the mat and just do like Marab did, right? Two
Mhm.
entirely different styles of wrestling, two entirely different styles of grappling. It worked for Marab because that's Marab, right? Like he can be in your face the whole fight. And you just, when you get comfortable and you're like, all right, he's going to strike with me, he takes you down. And even if he
Mhm.
doesn't, once again, it doesn't matter. He shoots 4 times, only gets one. Guess what? He has that one, and he keeps you down for 3 minutes of the round. He just won the round if nothing else happens. That type of thing. But that's not Yudong. That's not his style. He'll just try to clinch, try cage, but he's not that dedicated. He's not that tenacious with it like Marab. He's not chasing it. And if he strikes with O'Malley, that's just a death sentence. Let's just be real. I'm not an O'Malley guy. I don't think he's as amazing as when he was coming up, and everybody was just over there, just giving themselves friction burn, just glazing this man with how heavenly his striking was. But he damn sure is one of the best strikers in the division, and I just think this is a great opportunity for him to rebound, get his head back on straight, start to get some confidence, like the Umar fight, right? And another thing is still a very recognized guy amongst casual viewers, people who just every now and then watch UFC fights or just like, yeah, UFC's cool. Like he still is recognized. People still know who he is. So for them to put him on this Paramount card along with Justin Gaethje, who will be coming to later, and Derek Lewis, fan favorites, obviously that Nurmagomedov name, Ateba Gautier, they're making a statement with this, right? They want
Mhm.
people for this first card to get drawn in. This sets the precedent. First card's exciting. So they're going to do these layup fights, right? They're going to try to set these guys up for success, for these flashy knockouts, for these finishes, to get people to watch this, to be like, oh, pay-per-view's over. This is now just a sub service and you get access to everything. Oh, I know O'Malley. I know Derek Lewis. I know Justin Gaethje.
Right.
Cool. Now I'll keep watching. Now I'll get brought back in. And this just feels tailor-made for O'Malley for that exact purpose. Give him somebody who's not just going to be a walkover. It's going to be interesting, but it's not going to be a challenge at the end of the day. And we're going to be saying to ourselves, damn, that was easier than I thought. And the odds reflect that. You got O'Malley at a minus 205, Yudong's at a plus 170, 17% of bets on Yudong, 83% on O'Malley. I get it. I agree with it. Uh, Even though I am shocked you're getting O'Malley KO, TKO, DQ at plus 300. That's pretty shocking. So that's interesting. And even a decision at plus 110. Not going to get a sub, so don't do 2,200 sub because that's
No.
what's at for both of them. Uh, that's pretty cool. I might take man, because he lost because of doctor stoppage in the fourth round against Sandhagen. And this is a 3-round fight. I think I'm going to go O'Malley decision. What do you think?
I think that if you are what you say you are, a superstar, then have no fear. O'Malley's here, man. Um, I'm telling you, this one, the problem with it is I feel confident. It's not that I don't feel confident. I like O'Malley a lot, and I like some of the points that you brought up too, especially there at the end about how, you know, moving to Paramount, you want to start off with a bang. You want to start off putting your best foot forward. Yeah, you want your guys to put on a show and perform. And I think O'Malley losing would be a bad look for the UFC. But also, Yadong's best trait is just poking your eyeballs out of your head.
I'm glad you mentioned that. That dude is a terrible, terrible eye poker. Him and Li Jingling, everybody was like, "Oh, Li Jingling in a suit from the Hazmat press conference." Da 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 da. He's so cute. He's a grown ass man, and he eye gouged Jake Matthews so bad, and one of the most flagrant. Him and Yadong. I'm glad you mentioned that, because who was it that he
Absolutely.
fought? Just Henry Cejudo. That was his most
Yes.
recent
Poked
fight.
his eyeball
And
out,
it
man.
ended because of that. Yeah, and that's not the first time. It's just his latest fight.
And so he doesn't do that. I picked Cejudo to win that fight. Yadong would be on a 2-fight losing streak right now. That was a 1-round fight with him and Henry. I think Henry was calling for the rematch, and Dana was kind of, if I remember right, kind of like, I don't know, not nice about it. I can't go with Yadong here, man. Even though Sean O'Malley is very public, according to like the sports books combined, 84% of money is on O'Malley, 84% of bets, 83% of the money. So a tiny sharp lean on Yadong, only 16% of bets on Yadong. A lot of the things I look for here, but I can't get there, man. I can't get there. O'Malley also, I don't think he only fought once last year, I believe. He had the one rematch with Marab, right? Because he had surgery.
Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me take a quick look. I was trying to see who else Yadong's been poking, because it definitely isn't just Cejudo. So
No.
when those pants come down, Cejudo got poked in the eyeball, and there's been somebody else. And I'm going to find out. I don't give a shit if the media is covering it up. They can't hide from me.
I feel like
So
O'Malley.
Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, because I feel like the other loss was in the Sphere in 24, right?
Yeah, that was the first
Okay.
fight. He only fought once in 2025. That was a
Yeah.
rematch. Got choked out. That was it.
So it is a little surprising that O'Malley is such a public favorite. Maybe it shouldn't be because he's the bigger name, but I know stock's really falling with O'Malley, especially if he loses this fight. I just don't see it happening, man. I really don't. I'm gonna do the double method though. I'm gonna do the KO decision at minus 190. It just takes a little bit off, but I would rather have that safety because I can see this, especially if he does get eye poked. At least I have O'Malley to win by points in my back pocket.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's why I was hoping if you were going to pick him that we would split on it that way. As long as he wins, we hopefully
Yep.
make money no matter what.
Let's get to the main fight, man. We got Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett. Paddy is a minus 230 favorite. Both pretty big names right now. Gaethje obviously has the staying power. Been around for a lot longer. 56% of bets on Paddy, 73% of the money. So a big sharp lean on Paddy here, even though he is the public side. It's hard to disagree. I mean, I love my old goats. I love the Poiriers, the Gaethjes, all those guys. But Poirier's out of the UFC now for a reason. Gaethje's probably not too far behind. I know everybody's kind of calling for their title shots right now, especially in that division. I'm gonna just take Paddy on the money line. It's minus 230. It's a nasty number, but I could see him getting the win any type of way. Right now, I believe Tapology has his largest prediction as finishing with a sub. So I can see him getting the submission. I can see it being a decision. I can see him getting the knockout. So I'm just going to be safe with the money line there. I wouldn't mess around with the point spread. Over under 2.5 rounds. It's set there right there at even minus 115 for either side. I probably wouldn't even touch that one either. I think I'm with Paddy just because I think he's the younger guy. He's the up and comer, and with Gaethje, man, it's just like he hasn't looked the same, right? It feels like he's been trending down for a while. I just don't think he gets it done against Paddy. I think he falls short here, and maybe we see him retire this year, maybe not, but I think we're at the end for Gaethje here. I think his Poirier storyline is going to be similar. That within the next, at least I would say, 2 to 3 years, he has to be out. But I think there's a possibility it is this year. What do you think?
He's a sausage mate. He's a little hand sanitizer boy. He's a helmet. No, I agree. Watching tape for this fight, some things that concerned me pretty much play into exactly what, if Paddy's smart, he should be doing. Uh, Gaethje is pretty much at this point notorious for ducking under, and it's very much a part of his fight style as a result of him being legally blind essentially before he got eye surgery in the beginning of his career, where he seriously could not see anybody in front of him and did not know where his opponent was until he reached out and touched them, which is why in like his Luis Palomino fights and everything kind of around that era, he's physically reaching out not to do like some Daniel Cormier mummy guard style thing or like Israel Adesanya kind of stance. No, he can't see where you're at unless he made contact with you. And it actually evolved into a really creative style, and it was cool to see him slowly transition in his first few UFC fights. He did get more technical, right? He did from the Michael Johnson fight, from the Eddie Alvarez fight, start to slowly go from this, brawler who just couldn't see anything, had to physically make contact with you to hit you, etc. He still incorporated those elements, but it was really cool because then he would start to get more technical with it. And that's when it really reached the peak around that Tony Ferguson fight, unfortunately, for Tony Ferguson fans such as myself.
Right.
But it was still cool to see from the sport perspective. So, like, what he kept was he would still put his left hand and get that collar tie on the back of your neck, but then use the right hand while still holding that back of your head for the collar tie and just launch uppercuts. Uppercut
Yeah.
king. That's what the dude was. So he kept stuff like that, and it's worked really well. And kind of like the duck under and the bobbing and weaving and the head movement is also kind of a product of that, except a lot better since he can actually see the damn punches coming and try to anticipate them and time them. But that's something that's not getting better at 37 years old in a division where, once again, those lighter weight classes, a little bit more reactive, a little bit quicker. Those things are the first to go. And it's going to kind of play into, in my eyes, what Paddy wants to do. Like, that's part of, we've talked about on this show a lot. I say that fighters that have tendencies that can be exploited are a good indicator of how a fight's going to play out. I mean, nothing's ever 100% accurate with betting and predictions and etc. But at least in my personal perspective, one of the best ways to figure out fights and predictions and get betting edges and things like that is looking at styles and how they match up. What does this fighter do in their matchup coming up? What does this fighter do? And does it feed into each other? So in this fight, it's a classic example of Justin Gaethje's natural training, his natural progression and evolution as a fighter with these things that have gotten him this far. Those are going to be very hard to stop doing or to do something radically different with a brand new fight, with a brand new method of preparation for people that have superstitions and don't really like to change things and don't really like to evolve. And if they find a system that works, fighters are stubborn. So in the Michael Chandler fight, when I was watching tape on Paddy, how did the finish get set up? Chandler got kneed in the face, got opened up by a cut because he ducked under, got timed, got caught slipping, tried to run away because he was wobbled. Paddy got him up against the fence, got his back. I see that going the same way with Justin Gaethje, and in fact, it's happened to him numerous times. It happened to him recently in the Rafael Fiziev rematch.
Right.
He's just been very lucky that his chin's held up because that was a flush knee that he took from Fiziev ducking under. He also was a hair thin, razor thin margin from getting caught ducking down by a high kick by Fiziev. And that's something that's concerning to see when you have a 37-year-old fighter with a lot of wear and tear that started off their early career as very much a punching bag for just absorbing damage, just trying to out toughen you. Your chin doesn't get better with age. It doesn't get better with more fights. And it's hard to predict. Like Max Holloway, I kept saying for years before it happened, but when it does go, and it doesn't get better. And it finally happened to Max Holloway. I think this is when we finally see it crazy enough of all people against Paddy Pimblett with Justin Gaethje, because it's just he's already got caught. He's already not going to change it. It's too hard to change at this point in his career. It's what's gotten him this far. So you dance with the girl you came with. And it's just, I see it very similar to the Chandler fight, except it's going to be tailor-made for Paddy, whereas Chandler just got caught. He was going to lose that fight no matter what, but he just got caught. And Gaethje is just part of his plan. He's going to duck under. He might even take one. He might even take one flush knee, and everybody be like, "Oh, he's good. He's good. He's fine." And he might not even get wobbled, but he cannot take, because this is for the interim. So this is going to be a 5-round fight. So the most concerning thing for me, we know Gaethje can go 5 rounds. He might get knocked out at the last second, but he can do it, right?
Yeah,
like the only thing that will stop him is physically exhausted, right? Physically cannot fight anymore, like against Alvarez, etc. So it's going to be interesting with Paddy, but I see him getting kneed or kicked in the head, and I see Paddy getting a sub or he ground and pounds. And it is what it is, right? Like, I don't really know. Neither guy really excites me in the division. You and I both are Armin fans, and I got a few other guys I like. But it's kind of getting ridiculous at this point with fans just being wildly biased both ways. And at the beginning of the week, it started off wild bias towards Gaethje. And now as we're coming towards actual fight night, now we're swinging back to wild bias towards Paddy. This is genuinely a hard fight.
Yeah, it is.
It really is tough. But I'm going Paddy as well for the reasons you discussed, because so much of Gaethje's game plan plays into Paddy. And the biggest thing is like some other fighters on this card we discussed, like Figgy and Umar, right? I see this as a lightweight version of Figgy and Umar, basically. Same type of thing, except Umar is kind of like a striking Dagestani for the most part. I mean, yeah, he has grappling, whereas Paddy is primarily the grappler and definitely not the striker. But his striking's getting better, and he's a young guy. He's making improvements, but I just think he's got more left in the tank. Gaethje's a legend. He's going to go down as one of the most entertaining fighters in the sport of all time. He deserves everything. He deserves all the flowers and the accolades. But I'm going to have to go Paddy KO TKO actually at plus 350, just because I just see it being a situation where he's going to have either the sub or the KO TKO. So I'll just kind of hedge by being like, what if he gets like a mounted triangle or something? Or, is backpacking, back take, and then he decides to pound him out. Pause.
Yeah. Hey, yo.
So I'm going to do that just because I like that plus 350.
Okay.
And hey, what if he does hit the knee and Gaethje's chin is just hard reboot, power off, flat line? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we've seen it.
Right.
So it doesn't get better. So I just like it.
You're right, man. And you're putting your balls on the table. I like it. Pause. At the end of every episode, we have our haymaker play. We just have one big plus money play that hits surprisingly frequently due to Bobby's massive brain over there. So Bobby, anything that you're looking at in particular, and may I guess first?
Yeah, you can guess. Go ahead.
You gonna do Derek Lewis KO since you took the money line?
Oh, it's tempting. Actually, I'm gonna go a Teba Gautier KO TKO at minus 500.
Right.
Gosh. I mean, it's probably gonna happen. That should be a interesting fight. No other reason to see how terrified his opponent is, like the last guy. Jeez.
You're right.
Yeah, because I've already taken Arnold Allen, which is nice because I feel decent about that, but not super confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not getting anything for O'Malley. God, I love that kid. How he plays basketball and like his hair colors and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Skittles.
Right. Actually, maybe because he's plus 300. O'Malley's at plus 300 for KO.
Derek Lewis
That's
is
not.
plus 380.
Oh, damn. Okay. Hey, H-Town in this hoe. And I've already put my balls on the table with Paddy.
Right.
You know what? Why not? Like I said, one last trip to Flavortown.
I knew
Derek
it.
Lewis, just do this one last thing for me. I always say it because I'm always like, just one more, Derek. Just one more as I try to find the vein. As I wrap the belt around my forearm. I just can't. I wish I could quit you, Derek.
Just one last ride, baby.
Yeah. Seriously, Derek. You're 40. If you can just get one last win, break your own record, 17 knockouts, I think that's going to be hard for anybody to ever break, even if
Yeah.
they fought for the next 50 years. Just one more for me, one more for you, end on a high note, and then put the gloves in the middle and just walk away.
Yep.
So, yeah, Derek Lewis, back in the saddle. Quest started, plus 380. Objective, get money, fuck bitches.
Ride the lightning one last time for Tapping Vegas.
Yeah, Old West theme place.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Tapping Vegas. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Once again, we got more giveaways that we'll be doing throughout the year. Join the website, bettergreen.com. Also, I'll have a DFS article coming out probably Thursday night. And guys, other than that, we'll see you guys in the next card. We break down every single card, so we'll see you, I believe that's next week. Peace, guys.
Peace.